Welcome to the Outlier Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Conlin, and today I'm going to provide you with a bit more information, not much, on the Brendan Banfield and Juliana Perez Margulis case, or what I know to be Juliana's and most likely Brendan's perspective on what happened the morning of February 24th, 2023, based on available reports. So if you haven't listened to the episode, The Au Pair, The Affair, and a Double Murder in Fairfax, you should do that before listening today. And I'm going to repeat myself here. There is very little information out there about this case. But I do have Juliana's indictment, finally. It's very simple, like Brendan Banfield's indictment, and I will read that to you a bit later. But it's interesting. None of the motions are available for this case, none of the pretrial motions for Juliana. And I requested them. And I also reached out to the deputy prosecutor on Juliana's case, Kelsey Gill, for a statement. And I'll read you my email and the response from the chief of staff. They are really keeping this case close to home. And I completely understand. I really do. I'm just gutted for Christine Banfield and her daughter and her family. And I guess I'm trying to understand just how allegedly evil Brendan Banfield is, or how allegedly evil Juliana is. Or is she impressionable, or both? Who knows?
Good morning, Miss Gill. I hope all is well. I'm covering the Banfield case as there is immense public interest. I was wondering if you could issue an exclusive statement about the complexities of this case and why very few details are known to the public. I understand this is still considered an ongoing investigation and that your office and police do not owe the public anything at all. I would appreciate any comment that helps the public understand. Thank you so much in advance, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. We're not going to be making additional statements on this case precisely because of the reasons you outlined below. Please reference the press conference that Chief Davis gave last week for any additional details. Thanks.
And I played a part of the presser on the first episode last week, which was somewhat helpful to hear, but didn't provide a lot of information. So now I've had a chance to dig a bit further. So I wanted to share what I found. So a lot of this might be repeated a bit from the first episode, but don't worry, you will hear some new information as well. Let's just rewind to the morning of February 24th, 2023. We're in Herndon, Virginia, a suburban DC area where Brendan and Christine Banfield lived with their 4-year-old daughter and their 22-year-old live-in au pair, Juliana Perez Margulis, who had come from Brazil. And now this started as a normal day. And as you all know, it quickly spiraled when Christine and a man named Joseph Ryan were found dead inside the Banfield's home. Now, police apparently got a series of confusing 911 calls that morning. I had mentioned on the first episode that after the shots were fired, Juliana waited 10 minutes to call 911, but again, this is still unclear, but the police did get a series of confusing calls. First from Juliana, and she apparently hung up without saying much. And then about 15 minutes later, she called 911 again and then handed the phone to Brendan Banfield. And he told dispatchers that he had shot a man who was stabbing his wife. And when officers arrived, they found Christine in the upstairs master bedroom, bleeding from multiple stab wounds to her neck. And Joseph Ryan was lying nearby, shot in the head and the chest. And Brendan Banfield and Juliana Margulis, though they were nervous, they were unharmed. And the 4-year-old daughter, she was actually in the basement. She was totally safe. I had been wondering where she was throughout all of this. But yes, she was in the basement. So, over the past 19 months, this investigation has had many, many layers, and there have been many lies. And a complicated affair was revealed, allegedly, between Brendan and Juliana, leading to more charges that I think shocked a lot of people. But also, if you're an outsider learning about this case, I feel like a lot of people weren't shocked when Brendan Banfield was finally arrested in September of 2024. And as I mentioned, Brendan Banfield was an IRS criminal investigator, and now he's been charged with aggravated murder and using a firearm in the deaths of both Christine, his wife, and Joseph Ryan. And his trial is set for February 3rd, and we're just now really trying to piece together what really happened that day. Let's break a bit more down. Prosecutors are alleging that Brendan and Juliana were having a romantic relationship, though Juliana denied this right after the murders. In fact, just months after the killings of Christine and Joseph Ryan, it became clear that this wasn't a simple case of a random home invasion gone wrong or a lover spat gone wrong. Prosecutors are alleging that the evidence pointed to this elaborate scheme that I mentioned involved a fetish website, a setup, and 2 lives lost. But months after the killings, according to court documents, this is what happened. Joseph Ryan had been lured to the home through a profile that was created on this adult fetish website. And I mentioned this account was created on Christine's laptop. So Joseph Ryan thought he was going there to meet Christine for what he believed would be a consensual BDSM encounter. And Juliana's lawyers are legit arguing this to be true, even saying things like Brendan and Christine weren't faithful to each other and they had a marriage that wasn't great. And clearly, I was not a part of their marriage, but man, this seems like dragging the victim, which is really terrible. And it's almost like a violent act is happening to Christine all over again when her name is allegedly being tarnished like this. If what prosecutors are alleging to be true, that Brendan Banfield was actually setting his wife up to die like this and have their child grow up thinking that their mother died during a rough sex escapade with an internet stranger, I mean, this guy is just sick and evil. And look, if I had to guess, I'm going to go ahead and agree with prosecutors that this profile wasn't set up by Christine at all. I mean, I did a little bit of a dive into Joseph Ryan. He did have some run ins with the law. I am not shaming him at all. I'm just not sure Joseph would have been the type of man that Christine would have gone for. But again, what do I know? I don't know these people. I don't know what they were into. I'm just guessing, and I agree with the prosecutors. So, someone else, likely Brendan or Juliana, was behind this fetish website, and it was part of the plan to bring Joseph Ryan to the house. So, according to Juliana's lawyer, Christine had actually bought zoo tickets for Juliana and the Banfield's daughter that day. And they're alleging, oh, yeah, Christine wanted us to be out of the house so she could have this escapade with Joseph Ryan. But wow, Juliana conveniently forgot their lunches. So she ran home to grab the lunches and she saw Joseph Ryan arrive, according to her, and things quickly escalated. So, in her version of the events, Juliana said she quickly called Brendan Banfield, who rushed home upon seeing Joseph Ryan. And she says that she took the child to the basement while Brendan went upstairs only to find Ryan holding a knife to Christine's throat. And Brendan shot Ryan with his service weapon, but instead of calling for help immediately, he allegedly told Juliana to grab another gun from a safe in the bathroom. Yeah, it says bathroom in this one report. I've cited it. I don't know why it would say bathroom or why they would have a safe in the bathroom, but yeah. So Juliana did so, and then she fired a second shot, hitting Ryan in the chest and killing him. But here's where things get even more confusing. Brendan had left the house earlier that morning telling Juliana that he was going to work, but prosecutors say he never went to work. He went to a McDonald's nearby. That is not confirmed, but that is on some reports. So it also turns out that Brendan had taken Juliana to visit a shooting range together just months before the murders. And Brendan even bought the Glock that Juliana used to shoot Ryan just weeks before the killing. So, yeah, this evidence does sound like it was part of a plan. But Juliana's lawyers are saying that she acted in self defense. But as we know, the prosecution's theory is that Brendan and Juliana were trying to get Christine out of the picture so they could be together. I am trying to figure out if Christine had some kind of life insurance as well, because this always drives me crazy. Get a divorce. Don't kill or murder your spouse. My goodness. I mean, by the time, and I brought this up on the last episode, by the time police searched the Banfield's home after the murders, Julie, and this was months after, Juliana's clothes had been moved into Brendan's closet, and there were framed pictures of the two of them on the nightstand. Prosecutors are maintaining that it was Brendan and Juliana who created the fetish account, using Christine as a pawn in their disgusting plan, allegedly. So, in October of 2023, Juliana was charged with second-degree murder in Joseph Ryan's death, but notably, she wasn't charged in Christine's murder. So, her trial is coming up in November, and just this week, her lawyers were in court asking the judge to suppress certain evidence, claiming that it was unlawfully collected. So they're arguing that police detained Juliana against her will on the day of the killings, keeping her and the Banfield's 4-year-old child at the police station for nearly 9 hours. And prosecutors are like, absolutely not. Police were kind and gentle with Juliana and the child, and no one forced her to go anywhere or do anything. I'm sure she was visibly shaken and very upset, but now seems like a good time to read Juliana's indictment.
Count 1. The grand jurors of the Commonwealth of Virginia, in and for the body of the County of Fairfax, and now attending the said court at its March term, 2024, charges that, on or about the 24th day of February 2023, in the County of Fairfax, Juliana Perez Magalhaes did unlawfully and feloniously kill and murder Joseph Ryan. Count 2. The grand jurors of the Commonwealth of Virginia, in and for the body of the County of Fairfax, and now attending the said court at its March term, 2024, charges that, on or about the 24th day of February 2023, nigh the County of Fairfax, Juliana Perez Magalhaes did unlawfully and feloniously use a firearm while committing the murder of Joseph Ryan.
And that was very simple, just like the Brendan Banfield indictment. What's next? Well, the judge will soon rule on whether Juliana's statements to police will be admissible in court. And as I mentioned, Brendan Banfield was just indicted on Monday, over 570 days after the murders, and his trial date is set for February 2025. But there still is so much that we don't know. So I, again, will be following this case, and I'm sure we're going to learn more as the trials move forward. But something else that's interesting, Brendan and Juliana are both being held at the same detention center awaiting their day in court. And prosecutors are saying they do have new digital, physical, and forensic evidence that was crucial in bringing the charges against Brendan. But for now, they're keeping everything tight-lipped to protect the ongoing investigation. And one thing's for sure, this case is far from over, and it's only going to get messier. And I'm sure there are still going to be a lot of twists and turns. But if you have any connection to this case, please reach out to me, Lauren at popcrime.tv. I would love to speak with you on or off the record. Okay, everyone. Hopefully, you got a little more information out of this podcast. I will do my best to continue to update everyone. Thanks for listening. Until next time.